So what's up, man?
Coolin', man.
You know what I want to hear, right?
What you want to hear?
Baby!
Yo, it's your boy Vic. This episode is going to be a little different. Eb is a little under the weather, and I decided to go ahead and record my thoughts on the mass shooting that happened this weekend in Las Vegas. Since our show is normally comedy, I think it would be good to kind of step away from that and use this opportunity to have a little conversation about my thoughts on this terrible tragedy. As many of you have known, this is the largest mass shooting in the history of the United States. Over 59 people are dead, and it looks like there's going to be some more that pass away that are in critical condition. Over 500 people injured after a coward, which I will refuse to say his name. This coward shot from his 32nd floor suite at the Mandalay Bay Resort, overlooking the Route 91 Harvest Fest, which is a country music festival. The news of this kind of hit immediately, and videos started circulating immediately. And as I caught on to what was going on, I began to worry, because I know quite a few people that are into country music, and Las Vegas is only a 4-hour car drive away, which is very reasonable, especially when it's Las Vegas. And sure enough, I found out that 3 people I know were, at least 3 people, I haven't seen anyone else pop up in my timeline, but 3 people I know were at this festival. They weren't necessarily close friends, but pretty good acquaintances. And luckily, I found out that all 3 were unharmed, at least physically. And they made it out with the entire group that they were with unharmed. Their accounts of the incident that they've shared, the small bits they've shared, have been gut-wrenching and grueling and terrible and hard to read. I'm sure it must have been hard for them to type, but also kind of a therapeutic thing to do, to kind of let it all out somewhere. It's really horrible to see. I mean, even the people that I don't know, all those people that went there just to have a good time, to, have a drink, have a couple drinks, have several drinks, and listen to some music, to have a good time, to interact with other people, to try to make, try to put a smile on their own faces, were shot down by a coward and terrorized and affect the rest of their life. They will affect the rest of those people's lives, even if they weren't injured. It just makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach. And this coward shot himself after shooting hundreds of rounds down onto the folks and people down at the festival. To me, it was no surprise on the description of the shooter. He fits the bill of what we've seen in American terrorism to the bill. Families and friends have said that they never saw this coming. They knew he had a couple guns and, a couple rifles, and that's kind of the problem. The problem is that we see this in this country owning several guns is only a couple. One gun no longer is enough for protection. 1 gun, 2 guns, 3 guns. This coward had, I believe, 10 guns with him in his hotel suite. Who needs 10 guns? Who needs an assault rifle? Now, many people are going to say, well, fully automatic rifles are not legal in this country. So what are you going to do? You're going to take away everyone else's gun? Well, the problem is that he bought semi-automatic rifles and modified them. They were legal guns. He owned them legally. However hard it was for him to modify these guns, if it was easy, if it was difficult, it doesn't matter. He was able to do it. He was an accountant. He wasn't a sergeant. He wasn't a soldier. He was an accountant. If it's that easy for an accountant to modify his gun to fully auto, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with being able to get your hands on weaponry that seems to be made for soldiers. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine, but this is why I am a proponent of gun legislation. I'm not going to get too political. I mean, I know I did a little bit, but I feel like something needs to be done. We looked the other way when Sandy Hook happened and children were murdered. We looked the other way when people at a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado were murdered. Let's stop looking the other way. Let's start being sensible with gun legislation. It's killing us as a country, as people of a country. There was some silver linings of this tragedy. It's hard to say that because when there's devastation in this amount, I mean, it's really difficult for there to be positives in it, but there was people helping each other in times of the most need. Although it didn't make me smile because of the devastation, it did make me hopeful that not everyone is like this piece of shit that is causing so much hurt, that there was people willing to help each other out. It reminded me of a quote that one of my favorite childhood teachers told me. His name was Mr. Rogers. He said, "When I was a boy, I would see scary things in the news. My mother would always say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You'll always find people who are helping.'" And that was very true in this instance. There was people helping each other immediately at the horror site. But there's also people that have been coming out to donate blood. In droves, they've been coming out to give blood to people that are affected by this, that will save someone's life. If you donate blood, you will save someone's life, especially after a tragedy like this. The little bit of uncomfortableness that you will suffer will be substantially gifted to someone in life by giving them the breath of life. So if you can, if you're in the area of Las Vegas, consider donating blood. If you're not in the area of Vegas, we don't need to wait for instances like this to go out and give blood. There are people that are dying for other reasons other than gun violence that need it too. But I think it's very great to see when things like this happen, there are people that step up and will sacrifice a little bit to give someone life. There's also been people donating financially in big numbers. There was a GoFundMe started to help the victims of this horrible tragedy. The original goal was $1 million, and in a few days they surpassed it by $2 million. So it's $3 million plus right now. And if you get the opportunity, please consider donating. Keep those people in your thoughts. And I know it's pretty cliche to say thoughts and prayers, but if you pray, think about them. If you pray for them, think about them. I will keep them in my thoughts, and I will try to do what I can to do my part in enacting legislation to make sure that doesn't happen again. But most importantly, this is a reminder that life is fleeting. Life can be taken at any moment. Make sure you tell the people that you love them. Make sure to try to take advantage of every moment you have on this earth. Make sure you love one another. Make sure you let people know. Make sure you let the people you love know. Give them a hug. Give them a kiss every day. I think that's going to be it for this week. Thank you all for listening. Peace and love.